Hello guys, this is the Dominic Kellman podcast, episode 7. Josh? 8. Alright. I need to get better at that, mate. Right. This is Matt Dixon, and he's got a great story for you lot. And he's a very close friend of mine. So, Matt, top, bottom twice. Twice, and then the top. Right, let's have a little sip, mate. How's it going? Have you missed me?
Big time. Yeah, it's been lovely to... how long has it been, Dom?
Well, the last time I saw you properly, so we was working over Canning Town, and I've got to say this story because it makes me laugh, because we was on a really big site, and there was probably about maybe 15 of us left. It was a big job, right?
What, the last job we was on?
The last job we was on,
Yeah.
the last day. So basically, we get rounded up. We get rounded up into the staff room by Pete.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
And we was all waiting for the ultimatum.
But none of us knew why. But I didn't get why he got all of us all together to tell us this. But he was like, basically, we all love him, but someone's been taking screws out of doors.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Mate, but like the thing
Getting through the day though, just getting through the day. That is.
But it was like, why did he need to tell us all that?
I know.
But then I thought in my head, okay, now Matt's actually gone to another site to do some work, so he's fine. But what I thought was so funny is that every other thing that we did on that bloody site didn't matter.
Yeah,
but
like
you
fire hoses
and not working every day.
But the screws are a liberty.
But you took some screws out some doors, so it's over.
Yeah, they were good times though, Don.
They were
good
man.
times. And when I first met you, I couldn't believe what a lovely gentleman. And I said to my missus when we were talking about this last night, like obviously to have the chat with you, I said all I see was a massive pair of arms. He come in with the biggest pair of arms.
They're a bit fatter now, mate.
You look well, but you didn't. You had this your little cutting knife to do your bit of lagging and that, and you was just a gent, weren't you?
But do you remember? Right, you got to think of my mind back then, right? I was like the most naive. I had no idea about site. I just knew I wanted to get into plumbing. I basically was on there for no money at all, but I just was in this whole new world. And I remember meeting you, and you just being so happy and buzzing that like, Dom, we're earning dough on this site.
Anyone who's earning 160 a day but doing nothing, you've got to be a bit happy.
But it got better than that, because we would. Do you remember? There were points when we was taking home 400, 500 a day,
doing the weekends,
going home at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you remember
you loved it. You couldn't believe it. Yeah, you loved it,
mate. And I used to go to you, mate. I'm lagging. If people don't know, it's just insulation on pipes, people. Yeah. So there were days I'm going, Matt, I'm done at half 12. I've nicked 600 quid.
Yeah, but you was fast here. You was going too fast. And
you was going so
you was in another room to me, and I was thinking to myself, this geezer's going to make me look a bit bad here. Like,
yeah.
And I said to you one day, I went, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
But you went, Matt, I've only got to put this on this. I went, take your time with it.
Mate.
Take your time with it, yeah.
Do you know why? Because...
and you was getting after money than me.
They were giving me... Right, so they were giving me £50 a flat to lag, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You done it on a price, didn't you?
And what I did is all on the left side of the building. Sorry, Chris. I know you're gonna watch this, but mate, I had to get the dough. Do you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I know.
It was like I would literally just go and find the smallest rooms, because one room here, obviously I'll get £50 for doing that. That would take me half a day, but the other side would take me a whole day to do one. That's so cool. I just did all the small ones and just booked them.
How many was you knocking out a day though? 2?
No, I was knocking out 5 sometimes, but all the small rooms.
So you was earning more than me?
Yeah, sometimes.
I didn't even know that.
Did I never tell you that?
I didn't even know that, but I know they let you do it on price, which was nice of them anyway, really.
Yeah, because I was earning the least, because I was trying to learn, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So right, Dicko. People that don't know Dicko, we're gonna go into such a great human being.
The world before Dicko, like the world before.
Okay, yeah, the world before Dicko. But let's literally go back from the start, Dicko, yeah?
Right.
What was your childhood like? Where was you raised?
Born and bred in Poplar, East London, Chris Street Market. I was born in Mile End Hospital in 1976, which makes me 44 now.
Yeah, I thought it was about 32.
No, mate, no, 44.
Tan's going well.
Holding on to that is an untold fake you can put on there, but no.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, no, born and bred there. Went a Catholic school, primary school, then went a Catholic secondary school, which the school ain't there no more. Met blinding people in there, different era.
You knew a lot of people from, like Roll Deep and stuff like that. Like, used to go to school with Rico.
Yeah, with little Wiley and that, and but I didn't know him as that. I knew him as Zane Williams.
Oh, right, okay.
He's no Zane. He's like another good boy. Like all good boys. Like it was just a lovely school to be in. You had your hard people and that, but I was more into the women and that, so I weren't.
Okay, so when you was at that stage in life, because listen, East London at those times was notorious for a lot of different things, good and bad. So how, as an only child, I'm an only child, so how did you feel growing up in that environment with such energy and music and crime and...
Well, I come from a big family, yeah? Like, not myself, I'm an only child, but my uncles at the time were faces, as my dad had like 7, 8 brothers. So as little as I didn't know that even the people who I grew up with, like all the older generation, all knew my family, but I didn't know that because I was never meant to know. So it made my life a lot easier to get through them early stages because who I was, whose son I was.
Okay.
And my dad was just a normal stand-up man, decorator, good man. But yeah, but where they was, who they was, yeah, it got me that little bit. People was a little bit nicer.
A bit of clout.
A little bit of clout. And I could have a laugh and make people laugh. I weren't no fire. I was just more of a lover and making people laugh.
Okay. But like, when you're around that type of lifestyle growing up in that time, obviously I'm 29, so you got a few on me. But, as an only child as well, how did you start to create your own reputation and, I guess, understanding how to survive in Bow at those times?
Well, I was really good at football. Yeah.
West Ham supporter?
West Ham supporter, even though I don't love them as much today, but yeah, West Ham supporter. Yeah, what it was, Don, right, like, as a cat, like, in my primary school and all that, I had a lot of black friends, and at the time, there was some hard boys with them boys, so straight away it put me on that, again, that sort of, if I made them all laugh and we was all best mates, it was easy. And
when colour didn't matter?
Nah.
Racism was more intense, more in your face, but still it didn't matter as much as today.
It was a lot worse then, and you could see it then.
You could see it more.
Yeah, but they were strong boys, my pals, and like, they were so hard, dare anyone say it to them and it'd make them feel uncomfortable, mate. That'd have been their worst day's work, do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I was the only white boy in my school football team, and anyone watching this who remembers me, I'm just telling the truth. And I didn't feel no way, like they was just all shit up players, and that's just how the world should be. Whoever's good for that thing should be good for that thing, and that's it. Like, yeah, and yeah, I loved all my mates. And when I broke my leg before, playing in the London Cup, I done my right leg. We was playing against I'm at an ass or someone.
What position did you play?
I could have played anywhere, Don.
Oh, right, okay.
I was alright, I could play.
Yeah.
But yeah, done my leg, and I remember them all my pals, like Hector, Tyron, Jason Blunt, all the boys, they all knocked up on I think I was laying in bed one day, and my mum said they was all up there to come in, and they all come and sat in my room, and little things like that, just their memories. And
did you live on an estate or?
Concrete jungle, mate. Lived in a big tower block. Didn't know where, there was no green. There was about 2 or 3 trees that was planted. So I didn't even know about an environment, just the environment I got brought up in. Yeah,
it's just normal to you.
But as I said to you earlier, we had boys clubs around there, like popular boys clubs, which would probably be offensive now.
Really?
But there was girls, because it was called a boys club, and
Oh yeah.
But girls went there in the end.
It's crazy the things people get offended of now. If they did a day on site with me and you, they'd lose their mind. the jokes that us lot have.
Yeah, but there's a lot more information now, and I think people drive themselves mad with it. You can go too far with it. Where we didn't know nothing, there was no phone, so I didn't know what anyone was doing in Stepney, anyone was doing in Bow, what people was doing in Hackney. No one cared. And if you don't care, then you can't drive yourself mad with it.
I agree.
So then all you do is you just live in that day, your day. and whoever's round you that day. We didn't know if all the girls went to the shop and went to get fat. We didn't know. So it was a bit more...
It was just because you didn't have so much fast information and social media and phones and your life really is a bit more of a bubble. You're just seeing what's going on around you.
Very more naive, but as well as naive, a little bit more clued up because then you had to be. You had to see what was coming around the corner. You couldn't just look it up. So you was a bit more... But again, not as much money, Dom. People didn't have as much money. There was always one-parent families. Where they get this about one-parent families was it's been since the dawn of time.
Absolutely.
It's all down to luck. Everything's luck. I had a mum and dad that stayed together, still together now.
That's amazing.
So I was double lucky. And then my old dad's there now. But that's how it was. And like communities was strong because no one had nothing. So we was near enough all on the same page.
Okay.
So we never even knew where Buckhurst still was. Like, but that was like an elite world.
Yeah, of course. To me, it's still an elite world. When I drive around Chigwell and all that, you know,
we didn't know.
I still look around and think, God, I would just love to live here. You know, like I'd love to. I love where I've been brought up. I've met amazing people. It's made me who I am. But there are times where, I mean, I had a situation on the extension in my house. My windows are open. Obviously, it was hot. This was a few years ago. I sleep heavy. Excuse me. So I've fallen asleep, and the next day there's helicopters and police all around. A geezer was jumping across the extensions and hid on my extension, and then the police nicked him basically outside my extension with my windows open. And that he could have jumped in my house while I was asleep to try and hide.
What did you do? What you just
I never
picked your
knew
place?
This.
Yeah?
I woke up next day and all of this is going on, and they were saying yes, he was outside your extension with your windows open. We nicked him outside on the top. So sometimes these things make me go, bloody hell, there's nicer women over there. People treat you a bit better over there. Yeah. And I know people really want to go in heavy on what your skin colour is and all that, but unfortunately for some people, they don't like to hear when I say, I don't receive racism like that from people. I don't. And I think people just take me for me. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones.
Well, look, what it is, Dom, you've got to be able to get it. And so when I was younger, I got it at an early age that I could understand that black people had it a lot harder. I got it. I didn't have to be educated I see it.
You see it.
So no one had to go in my ear and go, "Cool, how about this, how about that?" I see it. I see what some of my mates went through. But again, you know, that's just knowledge, and then you learn with that, and then I educated my kids that. I'm like, and that's it. You can pass it back. You ain't got to be brainwashed to think something when your brain tells you it anyway.
Yeah, you take it in what you're seeing and hearing.
Yeah, what you see. Unless you're an horrible man and you want to be horrible your life, you choose what man you want to be. That's, you know, horses for courses, mate. And as my dad always used to say to me, as I was young, he used to just say like, judge everyone. Be respectful to everyone, no matter what creed they are, and that's the truth. And he was an old docker as well. Like he weren't like that. He weren't bite. He was as good as gold. He used to drop me round to Swayton Road with my best black mate Tyron, and we used to top and tail. Like he weren't a dad who would go, "Oh no, don't do that, son. Like that's a dodgy area, mate." Nah, we were sweet. We were sweet, and and that's it. And then grew up, got older, left school, no GCSEs, no nothing.
And was that just because it just wasn't part of your interest, or was you starting to dip down another road at that point, or?
Too busy looking around half the time, making people laugh, looking at all the pretty girls in the club. No, just like making people laugh. And you know what? I was a bit dyslexic, and I just thought I'm going to chance it, just being me. Just go out there to the world, and I did. I went and worked in Chancery Lane in a really good office. An advertising thing, and then I ended up getting nicked for something, Dom.
What happened there, man?
For something that had nothing to do with me. Well, later on in time, obviously, it all got chucked out and that, but it sort of ruined my life a little bit because, it was something that had nothing to do with me, obviously, but being in Poplar and the people that I was associated with.
Association, man. Death by association, you get nicked by association. I mean, you know about the joint enterprise law. Yeah. I mean, I know people that were not even in the same area, but they were with them at the time of a murder. Yeah. And, you know, they're in life for prison just for joint enterprise for them being there before. So they didn't even do it.
Yeah, everyone got acquitted. it was all bullshit. But again, it was an hard area to grow up in, Poplar. There was always egg, there was always trouble. Things happen, you know, things happen. And after that, it sort of ruined my life a little bit, because there was half a part of it that made me think, well, hang about, I've been nicked here. This is I thought then I'll become someone I ain't.
And did you have it in you to actually deal with the bird as well, was it?
No, it weren't Big Bird. It was nothing. So if anyone watching it would probably laugh, because at the time I had to go to Feltham Young Offenders.
Okay. But it's still not many people have had to do that. So people might go, oh, he didn't do 7 years. But
I cried every night. I cried every night. It was horrible. There was people killing themselves in there. Like every other night, someone would kill themselves, and that's facts. Like, they're horrible for young kids, and all the young boys that was in there, they all had their own stories. And but I was young, and it was just something that happened really early on, and like in my life. But then I built from that, and I just when obviously got back to normality, it stuck with me. It killed my mum and dad more, because I wasn't that. I've never been involved with nothing. I've never done anything. So they was devastated, because they've tried to, as an only child, mollycoddle me.
Of course.
And all of a sudden, they couldn't stop me from people that I knew, because they wanted me to be safe outside as well, and be my own man, and go about seeing who I wanted to see without trying to suppress me. Yeah, and that was it. And that was all, Dom. I've never been a bad man. I've never hurt anyone. I've never done anything. And I obviously went through life, and then I got to the age of about, still living with my mum and dad's, to the age of about 22, 23. And then stumbled upon Chloe Sims. Yeah,
so let's go into that part now. So at what point in your life did you start clubbing, about obviously my history around Essex and the parties I've done, and DJ Floor and blah, 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 and tables. And so when did that part start kicking in? When did you start getting attracted to the clubbing life, and then obviously stumbling across Chloe?
We had all the best clubs, like, these even kids and that kind of. Where's the clubs? There's no clubs no more. We had Epping Country Club, which was the gaff. Like, you had like Splash there. They had a swimming pool outside, and that gaff was just packed. And the amount of girls there. So you had that. You had all different clubs, and then you went down the West End to Legends, Emporium. Good times. You know what I mean? Like, good clubs. Not so much egg. Still egg, but not to the level of today.
So what was the Essex party scene like at that point?
Well, they weren't. I had to be there a few years first, because my mate said to me, "Oh, you've got to go down to this little bar down in Queen's Road. There's some really nice girls in there, and they might be one you like." And so I was going down there blind, sort of thing, really. But I was up to talk to any girl.
I know you.
I was up to
you was up to all sorts of bad.
Up to talk to any girl, and they knew I had a bit of confidence. I thought, but don't forget, this is like 20 years ago.
If you had a Tinder back then, Jesus Christ, I don't know what trouble you'd be in.
It'd have been full up. It'd have been full up. But so I went down there blind, but it was quite funny. So anyway, so Chloe was working behind the bar there.
Okay, so that was in Buckhurst Hill.
In Buckhurst Hill.
And what was that place called? The pub, or?
Yeah, it was a pub called the Queen's, and
okay.
But it was lovely. All good people, all beautiful people in there, all your own people. And that was it. And then my mate said, "Yeah, that girl over there." So I remember going up to the bar, and she didn't really. There was nothing, like you think, hang about, she ain't even ever looked. I've come all the way down here, and then I went up to the second time, third time, but she kept on sort of serving me. I remember right. And,
you're getting more and more steaming and more confident now.
Yeah, and I turned around and I said, all right. I said, I'm Matthew. I said, pleased to meet you, as you do. But she was so busy where the gaff was banged out and that.
Yeah.
She didn't really have time to talk too much. But then I ended up talking to one of her friends who was standing further back, and then tried to sort it out to say, is there any chance, is she going to go down a country club when this shuts tonight?
Well, have you done bar work before?
No.
See, I have, right? I've done a lot of it. And I'm telling you now, when you're at a bar knackered and you've got to still be there at 6 a.m, people coming up and chatting to you could sometimes be quite hard. So was she just being a bit like, oh God, I can't be asked to speak to him?
I think she was a pretty girl. There was a lot of people in there probably fancied her, do you know what I mean? So the world was her oyster, like she didn't care. But as luck would have it, did go to the country club, did get her number, things were different then. Just had a kiss and cuddle, I think. Did
you know of her dad at that point then?
Not really, mate. No, not like that. No, I didn't really. I knew my own family. I didn't really know them. All I know, they was all fantastic, lovely people. Looked after me, all genuine. Just lovely, caring people. The people that I come from in East London just moved up the road a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
into like a
They
more...
go more and more towards Essex, then go towards maybe Leigh-on-Sea, Southend, that sort of way.
Yeah, and that was it. So then, obviously, started dating her. Then she packed me in for a little while.
Okay. And how old were you both at this point? Sir?
I was 23, 24. She was only 18. She was a baby.
Okay.
So anyway, then once
Well, you were as a baby too. When I think about myself at 23, I didn't know what the fuck's going on. I still don't.
Yeah, so that was it. So we just took her out, dated. I think she weren't even that much into me, really. Where I was from Poplar and that, no one even knew where it was. But as time went on, got together. She moved to Chris Street with me, which was the biggest eye opener of her life. Like, she couldn't believe it.
Right.
Like, I took her to this, like, the maddest, darkest gaff in the world. Like,
well, go into detail about that. Like, what was that experience like?
It was big for her, just normal for me. You know what I mean?
Was
like,
you worried that, like, at that point, that bloody hell, like, maybe her family's got a bit more money than me? Did that make you insecure? Or?
No, because they've got their own roots and they knew that they liked me, so it didn't make no odds. You know, we had nowhere to go, we nowhere to stay, and that was the best thing for us. And then we could sort of like save up there for a little while, and then save up to get a gaff to move to Epping, and that was our first move to a little flat in Epping, near the station there.
Oh,
so
okay, lovely.
That was our first.
Nice area as well to get.
Two bedroom, and these flats was like not far off being brand new, so it was a big thing for us. And but as time went on, then Dom, and then I got to know obviously her little cousins, which is little Joey at Essex, and her brothers and her sisters, and they was all absolutely the most funniest, beautifulest kids. Like, funny Joey was hilarious. He was hilarious then as much as he is today. Like,
and who would have thought the heights that they have got to today?
Yeah, especially Joey, because
I really like him.
He's had his own troubles. He's had his own demons, which I wouldn't call demons, just things that he's had to get through, and he's been a right strong boy about
things
it.
that a lot of people will never, hopefully, ever have to go through.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
You know, suicide's no joke, and I feel at the time, obviously when he was first on the television, at that time, you know, he obviously was playing into that big stereotype of an Essex person, but he was such a smarter, more deeper person than what he was portraying.
But always
and has managed
down,
to manipulate it and become one of the most successful famous people in the world. So
yeah, but deep down, always still hurting, Dom.
Probably forever.
Always still hurting. You can be the good-looking little fucker as what he is. He's handsome, the boy. You know what I mean? He was handsome then. So is his sister Frankie. She's beautiful, and yeah, like, Dad's done a fantastic job. You know, got him through it all and that, and that's it. But yeah, like at the time, he was hurting big time. But they was a close little mob, and I loved it being down there. Like, I loved all the events that went on and the parties and the togetherness, and I don't see it no more.
I don't
see it no more. Like, there ain't no family, but I feel like everyone's just doing in their own little
own
bubble.
little world.
Yeah,
everyone wants to live through their friends, man.
And mate. Well, let's put them to the side, mate. Let's put them to the side and maybe live a little, like, get back to how it was, a little bit grassroots. I don't know, like, maybe.
But this is the beauty of this, is because, you know what I was saying to you before, you was thinking, you know, we spoke on the phone, and whenever me and Matt speak, we speak for a long time, like, so, because we do go over a lot of different, I guess, topics and how we are, and you know, and we have that type of relationship. But like with this, you know, I'm bringing back the art of conversation for people that are going to be younger than us. That we can sit here, no phones, have a beer and chat. This is what you were raised on, and I was raised on. I was probably the last generation of where, you know, some people need a bloody that iPhone lock safe now to put their phone away when they're in company.
Yeah.
People think that just because I do my Instagram stuff and this type of thing, I'm on my phone always. If I'm with people, phone's away, and I'm giving you my full attention.
Yeah, there was nowhere to hide. I think people hide behind phones as well. Like,
absolutely.
If they don't want to answer a question, they make out they didn't hear it. You know, like when you're in a room and there's no phones, you've got to interact. There's nowhere to hide. Or if not, you're rude.
Yeah, 100%.
If not, you're rude. But people can get away with going, I was just looking at...
Yeah, I was just doing this. But you've got everything on that phone now.
Yeah.
Emails, YouTube, all this other stuff, which can distract you from having moments like this.
Yeah, well, I try not to... My little girl today, like... Well, we're going back to the Chloe's. Go back to Chloe. So we saved up, got a house, bought a lovely little house. It was only a little one bedroom. Over the moon with it. Had our little girl, which is Maddie, who's 15 now. But while all this was happening, Chloe was So the girl she is today, she was just a box set merchant. All she was Sex in the City, Office. All she done was just watch TV. She was just, all she wanted to do is put her gym jams on and watch the box. And that is it. That's all she wanted to do. But
so when did
I was bad.
Okay.
I was bad. I was out all the time, like taking liberties and never coming back in, having a night out. And I was really bad. Like, and Chloe didn't deserve that. Like, she didn't deserve it. But I was so young still, and so was she, that, you know, I've had a kid now at 40, and I think you really have got to be older to have a kid, Dom.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Like not to say people can have it whenever they want, but I'm saying you've got to live your life. Yeah. Have your life. And then you've got experience, and then you can bring that on
and to another person,
to the children, and that, and then and more time. I devote myself now to the girls, but I don't want. There's nothing else that I want to do. But yeah, drove her mad. In the end, had enough of it.
So how long into that relationship until she had enough, and then you had a child? At what point was that?
I think she had enough of it. Maybe a year and a half before she called time on it. I think it was just more of a. She probably felt bad to end it. We had this house, like, and you know, I loved her family, and I hope they loved me a little bit, even though I was a bit of a fucker. Yeah, and then
did you and her family and stuff get on?
Yeah. No, I loved them.
Toe rag as well.
I loved them. I suppose her dad and all that wanted her to probably live a little bit more like I would with my daughters, and to see more, but I didn't get it then because I was selfish and just thought of me. And then obviously it weren't good for little Maddie to then have a broken home, because then we broke up. And then Chloe become her own person. And listen, like, I'll tell you this now, like, she had some really hard times, like, once we broke up. Like, she had to find herself. So if anyone ever looks at Chloe and thinks she's just had this everything given to her, mate,
and everything's amazing.
They're totally wrong. Like, they're totally wrong. Whatever they foresee on the TV is just, it ain't that, you know? Like,
so let's talk about that.
Well, then she became this person. I remember when she first went on it, but then even TOWIE was different then.
Very different.
It was different then. Yeah, you had like the
no holds barred, man.
No holds barred. I suppose it was a bit more funnier because it was a bit more off the cuff. It weren't so censored.
It was funny because I was watching the episode the other day of Mark Wright basically telling Lauren, because I did a few parties with Mark Wright to get my night bigger back in the days. I remember him going to her that basically she has to cook and clean, and like if she's in my house and stuff like that, he would get destroyed if that was on the television.
Oh yeah, he would, and he wouldn't like it now. Really, he'd rather forget them episodes.
Exactly.
But then again, you're learning, didn't you, Dom? Like, again, when TOWIE first came about, like, it was raw. It was raw.
So raw.
This is raw. Like, you don't. People will say silly things
because that's humans. We're not programmed to be perfect
unless they want us to be programmed to be perfect, and then it's.
Well, that's what they're trying, and if you step out of line, they're on you.
Yeah.
But then, how did that affect you? Like, let's actually paint the picture for people. So, you've known this person your whole life. You have a child together. You've loved each other. For her to become this star, what was that process like for you? Because obviously she's not here, so how was that for you?
Well, I just didn't have to give her £50 a week no more for the baby. No, she was all right. She gave me £50.
I'll have it as well.
Yeah, no, she just grew into this big lady and done really well, and you know, she gets a lot of abuse along the way with it, and she's just done well. And then Joey shot to fame, and then obviously the girl shot to fame, and yeah, it was massive. But I was proud of her. I was proud all along because it was good for her. As much as I don't think I'd want it done, because there's a lot of headache that comes with it, and you can't always be yourself.
You'd start knocking heads out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
You had someone message you on Twitter. Oh, hey, Matt, you look like a prick.
Listen,
you'll find out where they live.
I might get some bad comments out of this.
No,
Who knows? But listen, I don't offend anyone. I'm coming across as best as I can. But yeah, and that was it. Yeah. So, but my life, as her life was going up, my life was alright. I went and got a loft conversion company.
Okay.
Couldn't really build one, but could talk. So I got other people to build one. Done well with that. But in between that, wanted to go out to Dubai, Marbella, there and everywhere. And the geezer that I was partners with let him down bad wherever he is today. Like, I was the one trying to get the work in, but he was the one building the loft. Okay, so once I weren't getting them in,
was there quite a bit of dough coming in?
Yeah, I done all right with it. I done well with it, and yeah, and I mucked it up just through women again, Dom. Story of my life. Mucked it up because I just loved girls, yeah, and couldn't wait to go through the money, never having nothing, always going backwards,
Mm-hmm.
always then ending up in exactly the same spot, but got away with it because I weren't too bad looking and started again.
How random was it? Sorry to cut you. I came to work off a bender, so I had like no sleep in that, and I was like, oh Matt, I was with these birds last night. I think we went Love Juice.
Yeah.
And then I showed a video of some birds, and he's like, Dom, that bird with the hat, the blonde bird with the hat, I know her. Don't you remember?
Yeah, I do. yeah.
And I'm like, how weird's that?
Yeah.
And then you was like, is her name? I'm going,
yeah.
We was dirty whining, mate.
Yeah. All these girls are still about, do you know what I mean? Which is even madder. But yeah, like Dom, we just took to each other straight away. You was as open as they come, like you are today. That's why I done the interview.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and that was it. So then we all of a sudden stayed great mates till today. 20 years, long while, Dom.
Yeah.
20 years is a long while to know someone. So
Really
we knew everything about each other. And yeah, I've let her down loads and loads of times, and she's never ever turned her back on me. And there's been times when I had to go out to Thailand, Dom, like I'd had enough of everything.
So let's slow down. So at that point, what actually led you up to going to Thailand and saying, right, I need to get the fuck out of here?
Just a breakdown. I ended up getting with another girl, and it was hard work. It was really hard work. And yeah, it sort of broke me a little bit. And then people I had around me, you know, you think you're walking on water and knowing everyone and this and that. And then things can just change like that, mate.
Like that, they can change.
And then I felt like I was a bit of a nothing. And yeah, and then just put my head in the sand and went out to Thailand on my own. Like, there was no agenda to it.
What made you think Thailand as well?
Wanted to go to the furthest place
that you could possibly go.
Should have just gone Clacton. Would have saved a lot more money. I only went out there with about 6-7 fat. Like, that's all I had, and I just got it, and I just stayed out there, mate. And I ended up, and that's when my mindset changed.
Okay.
Yeah, started going up to like visit the monks and that, and bringing bags of rice up there. This is all true, like, and you're thinking,
because you've always been into your training.
I come out of Poplar,
and you're that spiritual person as well, you know.
Today, yes, today, I am, yeah.
Very spiritual person.
Yeah, today I am. I'm a strong believer in God and that, and yeah, so of course, yeah. Yeah, and that was it. Went Thailand, completely changed my whole outlook on everything. Come back very different. So I never went back into the society I was in, because they'd have thought I lost me marbles, because they've not gone through that change. Maybe they don't want to. Who knows? Each to their own. Who cares? But yeah, done that, and then yeah, just changed my whole perspective, and then met Marie about 7 years ago.
Amazing, and we met 4 or 5 years ago. So
yeah,
and she's all you would speak about.
She's everything. You know? She's my everything. She's
amazing.
What I call Dom. Yeah, when people want to call themselves everything now, like conservative, liberal, this, that. She is what I'd say the definition of a real liberal.
Okay.
In the respect of, don't talk about it. Loves everyone. Is a school teacher. I say school teacher. She's an exams officer, and she's the most down to earth, loveliest girl. So on top of the spiritual bit of it, I then met someone who was the most loving, not just beautiful, Dom. Yeah, she don't even know how good looking. She's lucky, because if she did, I'd probably be parked up. But she's just so lovely and spiritual. I don't know, just she's top girl, and I love her, and she's looked after me. And then I never wanted to have another kid, but she didn't have a kid, so then I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice of, do I leave her and not let her have a bit of joy, because it ain't worked out too good for me, or go for it?
Yeah.
And like, what a blessing. Like,
yeah, well, in some ways, like, obviously here, when you have these conversations, like, digging deeper, like you saying about the women being a problem, because everyone's always very quick to just say addiction is drugs, addiction is gambling. There's so many addictions you can have. You can be addicted to porn, you can be addicted to sex, you can be addicted to self-harming, you can be addicted to buying trainers. So do you feel like was you just getting tons of attention from women, and you just couldn't deal, you loved women's attention and what they bring?
Chewing up, mate. Now they
I wish I could say the same.
No, I just love the banter.
I can't even nick a 4-year-old from me local at the minute.
I'll take you somewhere. I went. The truth of the matter is, right, it was more of a that little thrill to nick a bird. Yeah,
absolutely.
And when I say that, I don't mean no offence to girls.
We don't mean any offence, but if you are offended, fuck off, because this ain't the show for you.
Yeah, no offence. No, it was one of them things. It was nice to go up to someone you don't know and then
love that.
Try and nick that number, and yeah. So
it gives you a
little bit of a
and it's
buzz.
not misogynistic. That is just what life is. Women feel the same way. They like. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I feel like everyone's trying to recreate what women should think and what men should think. Men feel happy when women give them attention. Women feel happy when men give them attention.
So what? So we're at a stage here where Tinder's good to go. Tinder's good to go.
It's slipping out now.
But the old school way of going up to a girl, going, any chance trying to catch an eye, or that's no good.
But I still do that. Me, yeah. I love the whole like going up and speak to a random person. My nan, before she passed, God bless her soul, said you should always speak to a random person every day. So I've done seasons and stuff like that, and I don't care what they say. Like, I used to love pulling birds, loved it. Yeah. But it's a bit shallow and stuff, but it just gives you a bit of self-esteem.
Listen,
and you can tell your mates and all that.
You're only here once, mate.
Exactly.
You're only here once, and you can only be who you are. And like, yeah, that was me. I weren't a fighter. I weren't out having loads of ag and causing trouble anywhere. People loved me in their company. They did, and I made people laugh. And yeah, and I was a bit more of an entertainer, a bit of a joker face, really, as in like I put the old joker face on, went out, and then whatever the night was, it was. But then obviously went to Thailand, stopped everything through age as well, though, Dom. That comes with age and experience. Mm-hmm. And then met the love of my life. Like,
so in that Thailand experience, sorry, like tell the people just like what that process was like. So I'm guessing you got a one-way flight.
Yeah.
So.
One-way flight. Landed there. Went to Bangkok. Then obviously flew into Koh Samui. Yeah, mate, mad. Like, just to fly in there, like, whoa, like all people whizzing round you. Like, I thought this was a bit different. But the first couple of nights, because I've always had that lifestyle of having good things, been like, and I have, and been nice places. I thought, oh, like, I'm gonna stay on a top gaff. But before I knew it, that old money was running out, and I ended up having I went and got a moped, and I went up into the mountains, and I ended up getting a gaff for about £200 a month, and it had its own little swimming pool. But the people who was running it there was lovely, genuine people, and then I just loved that way of life, mate.
I know, man.
It's
addictive, man.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and there was so many. Like, and you talk about third world countries. That is a third world country.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, they don't know how beautiful it is.
Oh man.
Because it ain't like growing up in a concrete jungle. So there's flip sides. Yeah, you see more in a concrete jungle, and you probably get more. But in Thailand, it's more. And they were just good people, beautiful out there. Didn't really want to come home until the old Western Union. People stopped like, mum and I had enough.
Benny, where's Dicko? Come on.
But it's funny, there's a quick story, right? I had to get home.
Okay.
Money ran out. The gaffs got worse and worse until I was sort of half living in a shed out there. And and then someone offered me to come home and said, I want you to come home, blah, 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 blah. But said, the flight, I don't know how much the flight was anyway, but I went into Bangkok, and I went to the thing, and I said, I've got a flight going to Heathrow. And they looked at me, no, I went, sure. So anyway, I waited there 8 hours, and then I had to pay thingy fee. You know when you've been there too long, what's it called?
I know the fee if it's overweight, but I didn't know you had to pay.
No, like a fee like when you've been somewhere to 7 months.
Overstaying fee or something like that?
I can't think of the name of it.
Like if you stay in a hotel longer than the time, it's like you got to pay more for...
Yeah, whatever it was, I had to pay it, and then I tried to get back straight on the phone, poor mum and dad again, like, listen, I've stayed, yeah, can you send that? So then they went, we've had enough of you, like, don't bother coming home. So, paid it, got on the flight, but when I got on the flight, there was, like, I thought, this is a bit different, not in a bad way, everyone sort of had turbans on, and I was thinking, bloody hell, like, so I thought I'd fly back, but it weren't. We was going to, I was going back to India, to
Egypt?
No. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it now, Don.
Dubai?
No. Oh my God, it's gone blank. But when they say via, that means I had to go back to this place, which was 6 hours out of the way to get another flight to get back. So in the end, Dom, I was on for about a day and a half, no food. And I remember getting to an airport where I had to go, and they give me $5, and I got a tuna roll and a Coke. And you know, when you just think to yourself, whoa, like, and that had to last me like 18 hours.
Oh, mate, I've been there, man. I've been there. When I used to do my Ibiza seasons, man, I mean, there were points. I had a lot of money at some points, and then there were points towards the ends of the season where, like, everyone's gone. There's no more parties. They're all gone. The workers are leaving. I remember there was points where I'm like, would go to the shop and like, I can't even afford Evian. I've got to get Buxton or something like that. Yeah. To the point I've got no dough. I'm like, mate, can you just send me 100 quid? Yeah, I'll get that back. Do you know what I mean?
But as long as you can still say you're out in Ibiza, it works, innit?
Yeah, and everyone else thinks you're the bollocks. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm still out here, but I've got £4.
Yeah. I can't believe for the life of me what... it's just slipped my mind where I had to fly back. But it's like when they say like via Woodford on the Central Line... That's via going back 6 hours, So it's nothing like via that. But
Central Line.
Yeah, come back. I was in a right deep nepression once I got back. I didn't never want to see anyone. And I got a very, very good friend of mine who I've known for like 40 years. That's a long time. Like, been together since we was 4. And I love him to bits. And all through my life, like where I've had good times, bad times, I always sort of put him on the back burner a little bit and sort of went off with whoever was good at the time. That make me look better. And he wasn't that, he was more stand backish, but he was the one who come and got me. And by luck, got me in the motor, said, come on, pick yourself up, man. You've got to sort yourself out a little bit, mate. Like, you can't be this geezer now, like everyone's worried about you. And I was in a bit of a bad place, Dom. And I hadn't seen Maddie for like 6-7 months, which is horrible for her. That means she lost her dad, but for 6 or 7 months because I was so lost. But yeah, and then he said he drove me back, and as luck would have it, I swear to God, I was in this area where I am now, and I just drove by chance, and I see this girl in this motor, and I thought, oh, she's pretty. And Sammy went, oh, that's Thingy's sister, a good friend of his girlfriend's, and I was like, oh yeah. So then it all come back into me a little bit, that sort of, oh, I do like women again. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I had that little feeling again.
Just need my little fix.
Yeah, and I still couldn't hold it down. I've only been out 2 minutes, you know what I mean? And then I remember getting to my mates, and I said, that girl, I just bumped into so-and-so. I said, any chance of like giving me the number? And she laughed. I went, are you mad? You don't even know. I went, oh, but she was so pretty. I said, I see her in the car, like through the window. So as like, I said, well, give me the sister's number. And then they were both sitting together, her and the sister. I must have been on loudspeaker in the car, and I said, your sister's really pretty. And she burst out laughing and said, oh, shut up, man, you don't even know her. But they knew me anyway, these girls, from back on in the manor.
Yeah.
And I said, let me just take her out on one date. I said, what's it going to hurt? And they went, oh, no, your track record and all that. Like, no, Meth, I don't want to get in hurt and all that. I went, what, one date? I said, this one, if she don't fancy it,
then she can
then she ain't got to entertain it.
And what's a date with Matt Dixon like?
Oh, it's the best date. She said I looked like Harry all that night because I had the biggest collars. But I met her round the corner from here, and she was just the best. Like,
and is that Marie then?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that was it. And I moved in with her about a month later because I remember her saying to me that her phone bill was getting too dear. And I said to her one night, well, how about not having a phone bill and I'll just come and live with you? And then we could talk to each other on the settee.
I know, because you love a chat on the phone. Like, we're not talking 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like, my conversations are minimum half hour to hour.
Yeah.
With you on the phone.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, is that the first time you felt after coming out of depression, and whoever your friend was that got you out of there at that point, you know,
yeah,
salute
good
to
man.
him.
Yeah, because what it is, your old friends, Dom, are sometimes your best friends, and sometimes you can leave your old mates and go with new mates. You're always meeting new people, but
100%, man.
But I love him, you know. Like I do love my mates in East London. Like I do. We were just best mates, Dom. We loved each other, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he come and got me, and he done me a big turn because I met Marie, and how lucky is that? Like, and then obviously
salute to Marie. She sounds like a lovely woman.
She's
honestly.
the best. She's the best. And it's mad, Dom, because when I had the loft conversion company and I had money, I was giving it to all the wrong people.
Oh,
and I've never been able to give her that. I've only just been had a basic job and basic money. I'm just an ordinary man, and that's it. And I get my little wage, and she's never asked for nothing. But I always thought she was naive about things like watches and that. And I remember one Christmas when I first got with her, I got her an Is and Hers, yeah, Kings of London.
I was going to say,
But Kings,
get
no,
that
but- no,
Kings
but
of
listen-
Leon watch in the bin.
No,
mate.
but listen, Kings of London, yeah, Dom, yeah.
Yeah.
Kings of London, and they must have been about 40 quid each. But because they looked the part,
Yeah.
they looked like a snide sort of Cartier sort of, they did from a distance, unless someone proper grabs hold of the watch and has a look at it, like, and I remember getting them out and giving them a Christmas, and she looked, what are they? I said, they're beautiful, mate. I said, you got like a gold one, a silver one. I went, go on. I said, look, I said, well, what one you want to? And I ain't wearing none of them. I said, oh, that's a bit unfair.
My skin might burn off.
Yeah,
after
she
I
went,
put it on.
Math. She went, I see you when you was over Westfield. I said, you see you going this little snidey stall. I said, don't be like that. I said, it's the fault, mate. I said, it's the fault what counts. She went, but she laughed and like, yeah, so I've never been able to give her the best holidays. Sometimes she's took me away on her credit card. Yeah, Dom. So I started off with a Chloe because that's my history and you can't erase it.
No,
it's an
definitely
impossibility to erase. Yeah, it's there. It's black and white. But yeah, Marie, I love her to bits. She's the most beautiful, sincere, great mum, great person. All we do is go for the longest walks, but always puts herself down.
Well, you live in a lovely area as well, man.
It's
So
a
you
beautiful
can get
area. We've only got a little council flat. It is what it is. We ain't got too much, but we've got our little home, and that's where we're at our safest in a time in the world where it ain't that safe, Dom.
It's not, man. And we've had long conversations about this.
Yeah, and I don't like where it's going, and I don't know. I want to voice a reason out there. Whoever he is, just come on a big white horse or something and just go, come on.
What has your mental health been like during all of this in the last 4 or 5 months?
Well, with COVID, yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah, no.
but I do look at stuff, and I think if you don't look at it, you're never going to know. So some people go, I don't want to do that. I just want to send silly WhatsApp
Well, you
videos
told me
to
about
each
the
other.
chemtrails.
Told you about them. But with the COVID, I just said, I just looked at something and it was going mad in Wuhan. I just see like loads of like people getting locked in their homes and that. And I was thinking, what's happening? Like blocking off roads. I was thinking, that's heavy. Like that's a little bit more than what the news is reporting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I said it to my mates, and my mates laughed at me, Dom. They went, shut up. I went, the world's going to shut down, mate. I said, because there was this man on YouTube saying about flights coming out of Wuhan over the Christmas period, and they was just going everywhere. So I thought, well, it's here, isn't it? It's going to spread like wildfire.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was more on it than Boris Johnson was on it.
But you, it's funny because you told me something brief, very brief, maybe 6 months before COVID. Because obviously it hit, where was the first place it hit?
Wuhan.
So Wuhan, yeah. I remember you telling me something briefly about it, but you sort of just go, oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? But then to see the force that it
Yeah, because
that it
we've
hit.
never, in my 44 years, we've never seen this, Dom. We've never had to live like this. And some countries have lived like it all their life. So whatever we've had to go through here, I've realised that certain parts in like countries have had it so hard that really they've always been in a COVID, you know? Having like always petrified of everything and
Yeah, like places that get more natural disasters.
yeah, of
You know what I
course,
mean?
of course. But then I got it. I realised it. Yeah. So once that went on, I was petrified for my mum and dad. My dad's got like full blown dementia. I'm an only child. He was my best mate. It's horrible seeing him how he is. You know, like he's gone from a man back to a baby. Like, and it's horrible.
They always say, man,
he
once
works-
a man, twice a child.
He worked all his life to get his little mobile home with my mum, and my mum worked her socks off, and so did he. And as soon as they retired, he got dementia. Like you couldn't book it, and my mum now's got to pick up the pieces and bath
I'm sorry
him.
to hear that as well, man.
Bath him. Listen, there's a lot worse going on out there, Dom. Like it's a lot worse. At least they're here. Do you know what I mean? And at least I can shave him and that. And I go round and shave him, but to make him a little bit real, I sort of like put the shaving foam up, and he sort of laughs and he knows that's what he done to me and he gets it. And I will never walk in that house and cry and go like, because to make it, I don't want him to feel like that. I'd rather have a laugh until the last days with him. And we're at them times now, Dom. He's completely finished, you know, like all his brothers are dead now, and there's a couple still one alive, and he's got dementia, and it's an horrible state of affairs,
it's very
Dom,
hard, man.
but I've had them. And
Do
some
you-
kids have had no mums and dads. Some kids have been brought up by their nans. Some kids have, but it's only because I've looked at how the world, and that just comes with knowledge of the world, Dom. Like I look at everyone else's circumstances now.
Yeah, and try and think of both sides. I mean, do you cry as a man?
Love a cry.
I love a cry.
Love a cry.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you don't think you know, if I put on, what did we watch the other day and I cried?
The Notebook.
No, we watched a film about I think it was Lion, about the two little Indian boys that they go missing on a train track, and it's a true story. So the boy that done Millionaire.
Oh, Slumdog Millionaire. Yes, I have seen that. Yeah.
Good actor, the kid. Yeah.
Yeah. From Skins.
Yeah, good actor.
Yeah.
He done that, and that was just like, it was unreal. The kids had to have their legs took off to be beggars on the like unreal bad. Their eyes gouged. Things that are, again, I thought I come from East London and people had it hard. Not really. It was a strong community. We all looked after each other. That was a different ball game. Yeah. So yeah, I have a good cry, Dom. Unreal.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I think men out there need to realise, mate, like, it's all bullshit. People telling you, blokes saying, oh, I don't cry and do this, that and the other. At the end of the day, it don't make you any much of a stronger man if you cry or not. I think I tend to cry more when really happy things happen as well. But I won't lie, I do cry by myself. That's a bit of an ego man thing. Maybe I can't just cry in front of people. But when I
cry at music. My music's changed.
Do you think it's gone for the worse?
No, music, well, listen, I got brought up with, like, on a Sunday, Dom, my mum used to open the balcony door and again, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Al Green, Tina Turner, mum loved Tina Turner. Like, that was Motown.
Let's stay together.
Yeah, but if you listen to the words in these songs, like, they were just beautiful. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, like, so if we're going to be really real,
it's gone fucking downhill.
Of course it's changed. Yeah, but then I think a lot of people are trying to express their feelings in everything, and sometimes
you want to be a bit happy. You know?
Yeah.
You want to turn this music on and be happy, just like what films do. And by the way, obviously, I never realised that Craig Fairbrass is your cousin, and I think he's a phenomenal actor, especially what he did in Rise of the Foot Soldier for as Pat Tate. Yeah, obviously they've done story after story after story.
Well, his first film was with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Queen and Country, and he done really, really well. Like, he was good in that, and then he done Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone. Mm-hmm. So that was my dad's brother's son, but he had a different second name because my nan, she had 3 different husbands, all at different, like, and the first was Fairbrass, then Dixon's, then Knights, and but then obviously we was all one big family. So yeah, Craig just done brilliant. He went from thing to thing, and he was Dirty Dan in EastEnders.
Yeah. It's funny because I always forget that, because when I was young, I was an avid EastEnder watcher, like really intense EastEnder watcher. Like, my days didn't make sense when it weren't on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think as I got older, I clicked that, oh, bloody hell, he's in EastEnders as well. So, I mean, how's your relationship with him now?
He's all right, mate. He's all right. Look, he's his own man. He's a big man.
A lump, innit?
Yeah, I see him at a Royal Polo do in Epping many years ago, about 10 years, and I was full of beans then, do you know what I mean? I was young, and it's funny, Dom, because that day I remember getting ready, and God bless my nan, she's gone now, and she called me something one day. Maddie was looking at me getting ready in the mirror, and I put my Prada shirt on, my Prada trousers and everything. I thought, look at me, like, I thought, God, I'm going to show this old dude today. And my nan went to me, you know what you are? I went, what? I went, what, Nan? What am I? She went, you're a mirror watcher. I went, what's that? She went, a mirror watcher is someone that looks in the mirror, and even if there's 1,000 people in that mirror, you only see yourself. And I went, it's a bit heavy, innit? I said, that's a bit nasty, innit?
Is that a compliment?
No, but she meant it because my little girl was in that mirror.
Okay.
And I was only looking at myself. It was just me, but that, again, it was part of me growing and having to come to that day where you hit that thing and think, hang about.
Do you know what that is? That is an only child thing.
Yeah,
that is a
only child syndrome.
That is an only child thing, because most of my best friends call me a narcissist, and I only think about myself, and I really don't.
There's a lot of words for everything.
Yeah, like, I don't know about you. I wouldn't say we think about ourselves, but it's just because we've had everyone raise us, just you as the son, and you've had to grow up to be your own person. No influences from your older brother. Older brother can't get you out of trouble. I feel like you're constantly in your own mind a bit more as an only child. I think
it's very hard being an only child, because with things like my dad and that, I've got no one else to talk to about it, in respect of I ain't got no sister to go, oh, can you go around Daddy's today? Can you go and
You've got to do it all.
It's all on me. And yeah, it's hard, and I'd have loved to have had that love from a brother or a sister. But then again, then heartache comes with that. Then you could lose them.
Absolutely.
Something could happen to them. They could have a bad life, and then you've got the heartache of it. So then you think to yourself, on the flip side, is it all right that I'm an only child, and I got a lot more for being an only child?
I love it though.
You get a lot more, and a lot more mollycoddle than that. But today, Dom, I'm all about environment, climate. Yeah, is a big issue because I want my girls to breathe. I want my girls to live. I want them to see what I see without worrying about anything. And you know, and why we're all screaming and shouting, I think what's happening at the minute, Dom, I think feelings are starting to outweigh facts, yeah. And
absolutely.
And I think we've got to bring it back down to, yeah, of course feelings matter.
Of course.
But the planet matters, yeah, and the facts matter. And I look at our leaders like Boris and all that, and all these nutters that rule the world with their big nuclear bombs and all that, and I just think to myself, if they put as much effort into cleaning the oceans, just only a week, just go and get all them big warships, clean the oceans, sort it out for the kids and all that. Just come on, like, we need to come together now, Dom. Like, we need to be as one, and we for a little while, just push feelings to the side, you know, because you can't. Everyone's got different feelings, and I just think to try and narrow it all down to sort out it's an impossibility, mate.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's an impossibility, and I just think we all know one thing: we're here. We don't know how long we're here for. A quick little one, Dom. I met a good friend out in Mallorca, made him laugh. We become good pals, stayed in touch. Where I become a little bit more spiritual, yeah, where certain people watch this, they think, oh, he's lost the plot. We'll write him off,
Honestly, you're looking great, man.
I don't care, mate. I don't even care, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I said to him, he kept on sending me all these mad videos, like, and we got to the world now where people say, I've got rid of WhatsApps and all that, 'cause it drives me mad. People send you photos of chickens making love to cows and things like that. And then you've got to send back all laughing faces, and I feel, oh, fuck off.
Well, the worst ones since I've started working on site the last 5 years, the horrific videos I get sent, mate.
Yeah, I hate it, Dom, and I just think it makes people a bit more backward. I think, like, that ain't what we want to, anyway, so each to their own, you know what I mean? If that makes people not look at the real stuff, to look at a chicken, then look at the chicken. Then look at the chicken, innit? But then I thought to myself, right. So I said to this fella, look, there's a fella called Alan Watts, really spiritual, like the best talk I've ever heard, and he just breaks it all down. And I sort of, and he made me feel at ease. Scary to listen to because it makes you feel very uneasy with yourself. But I said to him this, I went, do me a favour though, mate. I said, Dan, watch it, but don't not ever text me or call me again. I said, please still be my friend. Like, don't like watch it and then think, oh, hang about. I think I'm better off swerving him. He's a little bit too real.
After this?
After when I sent him the thing about Alan Watts.
Oh, the one you sent me?
The one I sent you.
I think you said the same thing to me as well.
I did, because it's a scary thing to send, because it's real, and I just think people forgot real. And he never rung me again, mate. Never ever rung me, never text me.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know.
That's quite sad, man.
It upset me because I just thought I was only sending you something. You're all right sending me madness.
Yeah,
but if I send you something, yeah, like a bit more, like this is what we are. Look at the universe. Look how vast it is. Look at like what really are we? If we break it down, we're no different to anything else on this planet, Dom. We ain't, mate. We ain't, and all of a sudden we've made ourselves so self-righteous. All of us.
People think, because they've got a couple 100,000 followers, that they're better than this person and that person, or this person does this job is better than that person. Mate, at the end of the fucking day, we are all going in the same place, unfortunately.
Yeah, mate.
Right? We need air to breathe.
Yeah.
That's what we need, all of us. And if we come together and help each other, more gets done. More people can survive this strange life, which is so beautiful.
So beautiful.
But mate, sometimes, especially with what's going on right now, sometimes people feel like there's no hope. I mean, right now, I get, you know, I'm black. I have hundreds of sometimes black people messaging me telling me I'm not black and I'm a coon and I'm all of this, and that has probably affected me more than COVID has. And I've had people in my family die from COVID. So you're always going to get haters, Dom, and you're never going to be able to say the thing that makes everyone happy. That's an impossibility. You just can't do it.
It's impossible.
However much you try.
So whoever's sending you bad hate mail and all that, like, one day they'll get it. One day they'll understand it. That, like, there ain't a choice. There ain't a choice. You just you, mate, and that's it. And all I say to my daughters is, she has become a little tree hugger. Like, she loves trees. She watches cartoons and goes, Dad, they're only chopping down a tree. I go, you're joking. Where are they chopping down? Because I wanted to be more on that. And it's mad because 40 years ago, Dom, where I come from Poplar, I used to see people chained to trees and that, I used to think, oh, they've lost their mind. But they obviously knew something was coming. They knew something was on the horizon. And like, yeah, so people might, I'm not a tree hugger, but I know I love the environment, because without it, how can you have them days like, so when COVID was there and you had them little hour breaks when they went, you could go out, how much did you, everyone become a walker. So the people,
that's very true.
Everyone wanted to walk. And I just thought, like, the people that used to go on my little circuit where I walk, never seen no one, Dom. Never seen no one. COVID, everyone loved the forest.
Everyone
loved the forest.
Suddenly everyone's sending you their Strava. Is it, oh, I've just done 5 miles actually in 20 minutes.
Yeah, everyone loved the forest. But yeah, every day she's up double early. We just go out. We go out for hours and hours. We play all silly little games in the forest.
Look how young you look, mate. Not saying you're old, but you're fucking looking good, mate.
Only because I stopped the going outs. I did them. You're still a young man. You do what you want to do.
I'm getting there though. I'm starting to stop the.
I stopped the going outs, and you know, if we were lucky enough, me and Marie, to even have an odd night out, we've had a touch, because our little girl's so clingy. Yeah, that she don't want to stay nowhere else, because she's got a good home here, Dom. Like,
well, of course, yeah.
And she's happy here, so she don't want to go and stay at people's houses. But look, Dom, we live in a world where everyone's very divided, and the levels between the rich and the poor now feel like it's going back to how it was years ago. It's such a divide.
Up there and you're down there.
But the people at the lowest, I feel, ain't even got a voice sometimes. I feel like it's the middle class people that have got the voice, but ain't really got much to worry about, and they do a lot of screaming.
But the problem we've got is the minority scream and use the new methods such as Twitter, stuff like that. They're screaming about fucking nonsense, which then overshadows the majority rule that don't really think like that. But what it does is it creates a narrative that that's how everyone thinks.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So, yeah, it makes bundles of sense.
So people screaming that basically they've put like a few new shows from back in the day on Netflix, like Moesha and Sister Sister. They're trying to get Sister Sister cancelled off of Netflix.
Why?
For neighbour shaming. You tell me what that means, and maybe we'll have a chat about it. Yeah. But this is the depths of what some people are trying to do out there to get everyone in line to think all the same, so that we all are like little robots just thinking and saying the same shit, and that if people like us speak out on platforms like this, cancelled, get him cancelled, he's speaking his mind, we can't have that. That is exactly what
hopefully your show don't do that, Dom, and you're middle ground, and you've got to be middle ground. And you know what, if whatever they want to cancel, let them cancel it. It don't matter, because things are still there, and you still can't erase history. And
you can't.
And I grew up on that program, on the film Friday with Chris Tucker.
Love that film.
That
is a good film.
All I done was laughed all the way through it. You know, like, again, we've forgot laughter, mate. Like, let's just laugh, innit? Things are sad enough as they
Comedians are getting cancelled.
So if you cut laughter right out of the equation, like, then where do we all stand?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Look, I get where they're coming from, liberal people. I get they're trying to make this utopia of happiness. I get it. And I don't...
But is it utopia?
No, because it can't be, because we're human. And everyone's different. Like, everyone's just that little bit different, you know? Like, I've got to choose my words so carefully here, Don, because I'd hate to any pressure come on me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying it as I've seen it. You can only go by experience, yeah? And the experience of my 44 years on this planet is racism real? Of course it fucking is.
Of course.
Of course it is. Have I had any? Of course I ain't. Because I'm a white man. I ain't had none of it. So I'd never know what it has to feel it. Like, have we come forward? Yeah, I think we have. I think we're in 2020, and I think we're erased. Like, you go over football games, you're always going to get the odd mugged on. You're always going to have the odd screaming that shouts out, that hates his life indoors and wants to shout out something racist to make yourself look good, but looks like a prick. You're always going to get the odd div. Like, I grew up in a community where I had the best black mates in the world, so I didn't have to be told. I just loved. Like, they were my mates.
It was just natural.
Yeah, they were my pals, and my love for West Ham and all that died a little bit.
Why is that?
Because when they started singing about Frank Lampard's mum and all that, like, and I don't care any West Ham fans out there. I couldn't give one out. When my first game was 1986. I saw Paul Ince score 2 great goals. I was on my dad's shoulders in the North Bank. Yeah, people shout out, but I think they took it too far. And Lampard's just a normal geezer, mate, and a shit top player.
Have you gone to the new stadium?
Twice and hated it.
I remember you telling me.
Hated it.
Tell people
eating popcorn and that.
Tell people like how you felt from the difference of being at East Ham.
Togetherness again. You know, you put everyone in seats and restrict them, then you're losing the swaying and the togetherness. Like
it's just like COVID. People doing festivals in cages and stuff. The reason people loved East Ham Ground at the bowling was the birth of how much was going on there, and the togetherness, how close you were to the pitch.
Yeah.
The energy.
Yeah.
You know.
I loved it, mate.
You need to move on. You need to obviously progress as a company, but it can really be detrimental to the culture as well.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen, Dom. I think there is going to be level ground. I think once like the Brexit and the Trump thing, I think it sent people into meltdown. I think since then it's just gone mad. Like everyone's just got views and boom, boom, boom. And right now, everyone's entitled to their own views. Yeah, I think Donald Trump's a bit of a donut. I do. I think he comes out with the most muggiest things. But again,
he's a bit more real though.
But Dom, when I was 16, no one could tell me about politics. I didn't even know who our Prime Minister was. I didn't care, mate. You know, I just wanted to go out and play football and maybe get a kiss at the end of the night. I feel like a girl or something, like I did in all our little puffer jackets and that, all smoking their Benson. I just thought, like that I didn't know so much. So, is knowledge the best thing?
Sometimes not.
Sometimes maybe so not. But I don't know. I just hope that there is going to be a middle ground, and I hope at the Conservative label that there may become a party that makes everyone happy.
I hope so, man.
And then everyone can be happy, and then black people will feel that they've got to a stage where they feel equal. Of course they haven't been. I know that, Dom. I've seen it. I haven't got a bit. I've seen how it was. I've seen films. And how that even happened in the first place beggars fucking belief.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So then how can people use the word God and everything if they treated people like that?
Yeah.
And then most of the people that got treated ill was the most religious people.
It's crazy. That's why there's hypocrites all over the place. Well, listen, you know you've got a black friend here.
Yeah, lovely, Dom. Yeah, thanks for your
time.
I
love you too.
Yeah,
and listen, like lastly, if there's anything else you'd like to say, it's been great having my good friend Matt on here.
Well,
I continue for him and his family to have great health. So if you've anything you'd like to say, Matt?
Just say to everyone out there, whoever watches it, just to love each other as much as they can, and just get together and just love each other and try and put all the badness. We've come out of a really bad thing. We don't need no more bad. We need good. And whoever's going out there pushing for their certain things, push as much as you can, but then there's got to be a little bit of break time.
Absolutely.
When you can love
and
each
take
other.
a step back, you know, and think about what actually you're doing and the effect it has to people, because it trickles down. You know, without people realising.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, mate.
Thanks, Dom.
It's been amazing, man.
Thanks, bruv.
Love you.
Thank you.
Man, that was wicked.